Did Meghan Markle really try to claw her way back into the royal family with a new title? And did King Charles and Prince William just slam that door in her face forever? That's what insiders are whispering behind closed palace walls. And if the rumors are true, it's not just a polite no from the monarch and his heir. It's a full-blown royal ban, an unprecedented move that has left even seasoned courtiers stunned. No more emails, no more invites, no communication at all. Just silence, sealed with royal insignia. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. So how did it come to this? Picture the grand halls of Buckingham Palace, where tradition meets tension, where centuries of protocol weigh heavier than any crown. Now imagine a letter, slipped past the gates, bearing Meghan Markle's seal. A direct appeal to the monarch. One final attempt to reclaim what she believes she deserves. Not forgiveness, not reconciliation, but something far more controversial, a brand new royal title. Yes, you heard that right. After years of publicly criticizing the monarchy, walking away from royal duties, and launching a media empire built on bombshells, Meghan reportedly requested a new title to be granted in her name. And not just any title, something symbolic, something powerful, something that would mark her return as a global ambassador of dignified service, as one source described it. But it didn't go the way she planned. Sources say Charles was stunned. William? Outraged. Behind closed doors, voices were raised. A line was drawn in stone. And what followed wasn't just a denial, it was a declaration. Meghan Markle was to be cut off completely. No recognition. No replies. Not even the courtesy of a formal response. Why now? Why this hardline stance? It's not just about the request. It's about timing. The monarchy is in the middle of a delicate transition. King Charles is reshaping the royal house. Prince William is preparing to lead the next generation. And then comes Meghan, an unpredictable variable, making an unannounced move just when the family thought they had closed that chapter for good. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Apparently, Meghan didn't go through official channels. She bypassed the palace aides and communications team. She went direct, believing a personal letter to the king would melt the frost. Maybe she thought Charles would see her human side. Maybe she counted on William's past warmth toward her. Maybe, just maybe, she believed the monarchy was ready to welcome her back, with a new title in hand. But what she got was the coldest silence imaginable. And it wasn't just cold, it was calculated. This was a coordinated response between father and son. A united front. For the first time in years, Charles and William were on the exact same page. Meghan Markle had crossed a line she could never uncross. And if you think that's where the drama ends, think again. Because the real story isn't just about Meghan's request. It's about how it was received. What William reportedly told his father. What Charles allegedly ordered behind the scenes. And the explosive fallout that's now quietly rippling through royal circles. But what exactly did Meghan ask for in that letter? And why did William call it the most shameless request he's ever seen? You're about to find out. She didn't call. She didn't email. Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, estranged royal, and master of media spectacle, allegedly wrote a letter. A real one. Paper. Ink. Hand-delivered to the palace. But why would Meghan, after years of public slams, Netflix dramas, and private jabs aired on primetime television, suddenly reach out this way? Was it an olive branch? A veiled power play? Or something else entirely? According to insider whispers, this wasn't a letter of apology. Not a single sorry on the page. Instead, it was a request. A proposal, dressed in the language of diplomacy and legacy. Meghan was reportedly seeking the revival, or rather, the creation, of a title uniquely hers. Something that would reframe her public image as a global humanitarian. Not as a royal dropout, but as a figure of authority and prestige. Now pause and ask yourself, what kind of person leaves a centuries-old institution in flames, only to turn around and ask for more recognition from it? That's the contradiction that has left royal aides speechless. Some say Meghan's letter referenced her continued commitment to international causes, her unique position as a biracial woman in diplomacy, and her efforts to uplift underrepresented communities. All fair points. But wrapped in a request for a title that, sources say, would carry diplomatic and symbolic weight. A title separate from Harry. a title of her own. And here's the kicker. She didn't consult him. Yes, multiple insiders claim Harry wasn't even in the loop. The letter was her move. Solo. A calculated reach across the Atlantic to the father-in-law she once said lied, and the institution she claimed caused her trauma. Why now? Some speculate Meghan sensed a shift in tone from the palace. After months of silence, perhaps she mistook that for an opening. Others believe it was strategic timing, trying to re-enter royal relevance ahead of a new media launch. But whatever her reasons, her method was bold. And her message, clear: I want back in. On my terms. But the palace wasn't having it. Within days, word reached William. He reportedly read a summary of the letter while in Windsor and was livid. His exact words? According to a trusted aide, "She can't be serious." But he wasn't just angry at Meghan. He was furious at the idea that his father might even consider engaging. Because if Charles said yes, or anything other than no, it would undermine everything the monarchy had tried to protect since Megxit. The stability, the silence, the separation. So William took action. And what he did next would send shockwaves through the palace corridors, straight to his father's desk. What did William say that changed everything? He read the letter once, then again, and then, reportedly, slammed it down on the table so hard that it rattled the tea china. Absolutely not, William said, jaw clenched. She will never earn it back. That was the Prince of Wales' raw, visceral reaction upon reading Meghan Markle's alleged private plea to the king. A request for a title. A return. A second act, this time with more status. But for William, it wasn't just bold. It was betrayal, dressed in royal paper and cloaked in manipulation. Imagine being in William's shoes. He watched the institution he was born to lead be dragged through scandal after scandal. Oprah interviews, Spotify shade, a memoir that labeled him a bully. And now, after all that, the same woman who once painted the palace as toxic wants a brand new crown of her own? To William, this wasn't a simple request. It was a provocation. According to royal insiders, he went straight to his father, not with calm advice, but with a line-in-the-sand ultimatum. If you even think about entertaining this, William allegedly told Charles, you'll destroy everything we've tried to rebuild. Harsh. Maybe. But in William's eyes, absolutely justified. Because this wasn't just about Meghan. It was about legacy, stability, and protecting the crown from being turned into a revolving door of attention-seeking reinvention. It's important to remember, William once defended Meghan. Early on, he vouched for her, welcomed her, called her remarkable. But something shifted, and fast. Some say it was the fallout after the Oprah interview. Others point to Harry's book, Spare, and the passage where Meghan allegedly made fun of William's baldness behind his back. Petty? Sure, but deeply personal. There's only so much a brother, a son, a future king can take. And now Meghan wanted a new title? After calling the royal family racist, cold, and outdated? That wasn't reconciliation. That was gall. And so William made it clear. He wanted the request shut down. Not delayed. Not deferred. Shut down permanently. No dialogue. No letters. No titles. But here's where the twist comes in. King Charles didn't respond the way William expected. Yes, he was shocked. Yes, he was deeply unsettled by Meghan's audacity. But he hesitated. For a brief moment, Charles reportedly wondered, could responding diplomatically preserve the monarchy's image? Would silence be misread as hostility? And that hesitation set William off. Then I will make the decision for you, he reportedly snapped. And what William did next? It took the royal game to a whole new level. Because Charles may be the king, but William, the future king, isn't waiting to inherit power. He's wielding it now. And what he advised his father to do wasn't just final, it was unprecedented. What was the move that shut Meghan out forever? That's what we reveal in Chapter 3. It started with a single line. Not a public announcement. Not a headline. Just a quiet, internal directive whispered behind palace doors. No further correspondence shall be acknowledged. That was the order allegedly issued by King Charles, with Prince William standing firmly behind him, shoulder to shoulder in a rare moment of total unity. It wasn't just a no to Meghan Markle's request for a new title. It was a full-scale, top-down ban on all contact. Emails blocked. Calls ignored. Letters marked no response required. Meghan Markle was officially excommunicated from royal communication. Let that sink in. The same woman who once stood shoulder to shoulder with the Queen on Commonwealth Day, who walked the steps of St. George's Chapel as a newly minted duchess, was now a ghost in the palace system. But why go that far? Why not just decline the request and move on? Because, according to royal aides, this wasn't about a letter. It was about control. Every time Meghan re-enters the royal sphere, even just through rumor, it pulls attention away from the future of the monarchy and drags it back to drama. And this time, the palace had had enough. According to insiders, William insisted that any future attempts by Meghan to communicate, whether privately or through intermediaries, be met with official silence. No aide is to reply. No statement is to be issued. Nothing. Freeze her out, William allegedly said. For good. Even Charles, normally the more diplomatic of the two, agreed. But only after one final straw. Apparently, just days after Meghan's letter was received, a flattering story appeared in the American press. It quoted anonymous sources claiming Meghan was willing to forgive and move forward, and hinted that the royal family might be open to a revised relationship. Coincidence? Palace officials didn't think so. To them, it felt like a setup, a backdoor media move. Meghan was trying to create pressure, paint the palace into a corner. And that's when the order went out. From this moment on, Meghan Markle would no longer be acknowledged by the royal institution. Not as duchess, not as family, not as anything. One insider put it bluntly, she's not just out, she's erased. And Meghan? According to Montecito sources, she was stunned, completely blindsided. She allegedly thought the request would open dialogue, not slam every door shut. In private, she's said to be furious. But publicly, she's silent. For now. Because behind that silence, something is brewing. A new plan. A counterattack. And if the whispers are true, Meghan is about to launch something that could tear the royal curtain wide open. What is she planning next? And how far is she willing to go now that every royal bridge has been burned? You'll find out in the final chapter. She thought the letter would change the game. She believed that time, distance, and perhaps even guilt might soften the monarchy's resolve. That King Charles, now a symbol of modernizing leadership, would offer a path back. That William, despite everything, might still see her not as a threat, but as family. She was wrong. Instead of reopening the gates, the royal family slammed them shut, then bolted them, sealed them, and made it clear, Meghan Markle no longer has a seat at the royal table. Not now. Not ever. But here's the thing about Meghan. She doesn't sit quietly. Behind the calm exterior in Montecito, sources say she's already preparing her next act. Not a lawsuit. Not a private conversation. But something bigger. A media storm. Insiders are whispering about a new docuseries in development. One that focuses not just on healing, but on what really happened behind palace walls. Rumors of exclusive interviews, unreleased footage, and a never-before-heard voice note sent to Charles are all being tossed around like matchsticks. This isn't just a response. It's retaliation. But is it smart? Or suicidal? Because the crown has spoken, and it hasn't just silenced her. It's frozen her out with the kind of cold that doesn't thaw. Think about this. No institution on earth manages silence like the British monarchy. When they stop responding, they don't explain. They just vanish you from the narrative. You don't exist. And now, Meghan's name isn't whispered in palace halls. It's erased from briefings. Staff are instructed not to engage. Royal planners don't even factor her in anymore. Not for events, not for appearances, not for protocols. She's not a duchess. She's not a royal. She's not even a consideration. And that hurts. Because for all the power plays, the media deals, the podcasts, the merch, the causes, Meghan was once part of the most exclusive family in the world. And now, she's been cut off so cleanly it's as if she never existed. But the story doesn't end here. Because whether you love her or hate her, Meghan Markle doesn't go down quietly. And if the palace hoped this ban would be the final chapter, they might have underestimated the woman who turned a royal wedding into a global brand. So now, we're all left asking, what will she do next? Will Harry stand by her as the walls continue to close in? Or is this the moment Meghan truly stands alone, against an institution that never wanted her to come back? Time will tell. But one thing is certain. This war is far from over. And the next move? It's Meghan's. What do you think? Did the royals go too far? Or was this the only way to protect the crown? Let us know in the comments. Smash that like button if you want more royal truth bombs. Subscribe for exclusive exposés every week. And hit that bell, because the next royal twist is coming fast. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.